Hello and welcome back, everyone, to the LCS Challengers League presented by Subway. We're prepping for the second series of the day, and we don't have to wait long because Pick and Ban is ready to start. So as we hop into it, Cubby, talk to me about the teams we're about to see on the Rift.
Honestly, I'm really excited for this one for a couple reasons. First off, Maryville, they've gotten off to a really hot start. They're playing together as a squad. I think they've been very strong. We have the duos of Yuji and Spyrax and Scary Jerry and Zyko that have played together before. I think Scary Jerry and Zyko so far have leveled up this year from when I saw them last year. And Niles is stepping back in and just getting more and more comfortable with things. So that's really good. On the flip side, Disguise, they were an expected top team that hasn't really been performing as well as we hoped. But they did pick up their first win last week, and they're hoping to find more success as they get later into the season.
Yeah, they picked up a win versus Wild Card, who also just dropped their series to Lit earlier today, but they had dropped earlier games to the likes of FlyQuest and Team Liquid. Also, teams that are expected to be pretty high up there. So, where do we feel about DSG? Are we hitting a panic button right now, or do you still think that they need more time to let things cook and kind of get the synergy built as a team?
I can't hit the panic button on this team and roster, right?
Okay.
I personally had them ranked 4 coming into the split, so
Sure.
I think where they're at's okay. And I talked to Perry a little bit about it. I was like, hey, when I watch your guys' games, you guys don't seem on the same page. And Perry's like, yeah, we aren't. We're trying to learn the game together from the core. Some people are changing how they play to adjust for the team, and I think that as we get more and more matches under our belt, things will get better. We have seen that early on in the season. As again, these guys, they did find a good win last week. So we'll see if they can find a quality one today. As again, Maryville has been very strong.
Yeah, I mean, Maryville's looking like one of the top teams. They're locking in the Varus early on. We will not get Smolder again. We were just treated to the first Smolder game in competitive. Last game, it is banned first from DSG here, so instead it's Varus versus Jin.
Man, everyone in solo queue who was typing to teammates, just if you pick Smolder, I'm dodging, or I'm going to troll the game. How do you feel now?
That might be me too. In lower elo, though, I think it's valid. At this level, we saw what Smolder can do, so I'm happy that teams are adapting
easy,
quickly.
Man. It's like Ezreal, but all your skill shots are pretty much guaranteed to hit. It's fine.
All right, I think that's enough talking about a champion that's not going to be in this game. Let's talk about the champions that are. Taliyah had some changes on this patch. Do you happen to have it on hand, Cubby? What are the big Taliyah buffs?
Honestly, it's really nice. There's more Q damage, and the E cooldown was decreased, so it's now flat. It's 14 seconds at all rank, and Qs will hit a little bit harder early on. They increase the base damage. So pretty much ability to somewhat bully in the first couple levels, and I will say that for Maryville, I expect this to be in the hands of Spyrax, especially if it's going to be the Azir response from Young, but technically flexible if they wanted to get creative.
Ooh, but instead it's a pivot to the Corki. So with that in mind, I'm happy that you mentioned you think it's going to Spyrax, because the question being, well, what about jungle Taliyah? Is that back in the meta now with the Q changes? I don't think of Yuji as a Taliyah player.
He can.
He can? Okay.
Oh, yeah. No, it's Yuji, man. This guy can. I believe in this guy. He can. We have seen Boogie
I want the assassins, though, man. Give me the aggressive picks.
You did say Boogie play it in LCS. I do think that Taliyah is pretty good at the moment. In both mid and jungle, I was kind of surprised to see her get buffs, as I think that she was a bit slept on. But at the moment you can see DSG, they're prepping the just in case it's going to be flexed. I was going to say Yone specifically being a champ that can be piloted by Spyrax and the Corki. This guy's going to deny that. I think that's a really smart ban.
Yeah, maybe they pick something else in the mid lane, or they can pivot more towards the jungle, or I guess top. If you're not positive that the Taliyah is going mid and it could be flex jungle, you could be wasting a jungle ban. So I actually kind of like a top ban here, just because it's mostly efficient, and we don't see anything. We'll wait for production. Oh, no, there it is. Okay. Tristana taken off the table.
Another pick that you can just run in the Corki. You have a little bit of a stronger, early game. I will say, too, that if Spyrax plays this, it will be his 7th unique champion in Maryville's games. That's kind of a fun one if these guys have been playing some bonus ones,
Yeah. Reminder, Maryville are chasing that 3-0. If they win this series, they will join FlyQuest Challengers at the top tied for first place in terms of series scores, at least. But they've been dropping games throughout their series. They were 2-1 against AoE and 2-1 versus Supernova. So less clean, I'd say, for Maryville, but they are, like you mentioned, still looking like an early top performer in the league. I think rightfully up there with FlyQuest Challengers.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we are going to see that Maokai flex. This is something that we've been seeing in the meta a bit as Maokai support has emerged. You couldn't ignore the win rate. It's been strong. Oh, this would be crazy. put Milio bot and then run not mid in the Corki with the Talia. It's doable. You can do this. You wanted to get really funky with things. It's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
I mean, yeah, probably not. But it would be fun. So I think we can still cheer for it. There's the Renata.
It could. Okay,
we got baited
jungle.
right at the last second.
Dude, whatever change they made, it's been crazy for us, you know? We had the Yuumi bait last game. Now we have this whole, flex going on that's been baited with the support. Gary Jerry's playing with my heart, man.
And it keeps going to, like, some of the most disappointing picks. It goes from, like, oh, hype draft to, Cassante. All right, well, we get another Cassante game. As we also get a Jack. So Jack's jungle then, and then Talia mid lane.
The one game that usually played this, I thought the pick was game-changing. I wasn't expecting Jack's jungle to be as good as it was. It's been getting a little bit more play in EU as they've had a higher prio on Xin. And it's one of the picks that you can play into Xin rather well. But this game, I mean, the Jhin and the Corki can't really deal with you as Jax later on in the game. You scale really hard, so I think this gives Maryville a little bit of a scaling edge, and that is a Tenacity Darius coming out.
I had this prep for the previous series. We can do it now. We get Darius. Look at it.
Wow.
In all of his glory.
I mean, he got some buffs that were rather significant. I'm curious to see this. This was the matchup that I think Whippo attempted to play on the LCS stage. It's doable into Cassante. And you have a good game for Darius this game. Like, going into Talia Varus as Darius is really solid. And also, this Varus kind of has to go on hit now. Because if Varus doesn't go on hit, Darius will kill everyone this game. I'm curious if Scary Jerry does make that adjustment. If not, and it is the lethality Varus, it makes the early game very important for Maryville. I do want to give Maryville some credit. They're the best early game team that we have in Challengers in this early season. They're averaging being up 1850 at the 15-minute mark. That is a lot of gold to have up at 15. I think it really speaks to they have been picking for early game in their drafts, but they have also been executing. That's what's been very impressive about Maryville in this early season.
New patch, new week, and a looking top lane. Tenacity pulling out the Darius suddenly makes this kind of the main character of the composition from DSG, because a Darius ahead can be a nightmare. A Darius behind doesn't do all that much, and a flash out of Young early here. As the mid lane for DSG is going to want that one back. Nice setup from Zyko and Spyrags.
Yeah, and UG going to spot Perry. He could fish for the ward if he wants to, but I think the plan... well, that's a bummer. Spyrax just missed his ward, Kangas. It's very sad. I'm gonna need you to be sad with me.
I'm sad with you.
Look at that ward. Yeah, they're gonna have to drop two. That's
extra vision coverage.
We love challengers sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That will now spot much faster if Young ever rotates up to check the Raptors.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Everything has a purpose and a function, Covey. You just gotta think on the positive side.
That's true. At the moment, Darius is seeing if Jax is starting the blue buff. Jax is actually kind of hiding where he starts here. At least starting the wolves. UG, he would have the option to go wolves to bot, but no, he's gonna clear out his top side first. So, not bad. The Jax clears the AoE camps pretty fast with Counter-Strike early on. So, I like to see UG try and abuse that and also hide where he's at, as this Darius is very strong, level 1, and level 1 top lane is very exciting, as it is concentrated.
And we're looking at mid and bot instead, though. There we go. Now we get the view of the top lane here. Tenacity is controlling the wave, keeping Niles off of it. I was highlighting the fact that Darius kind of forces the game to be about him, because if you fall behind, you're just not as useful as a champion. What do we think about Niles on the Cassante? When I think of him, I think of a... when he's playing the carries, he'll pop off, but he's also a patient tank player. So I'm actually not convinced that Tenacity will get a massive lead, at least solo kill wise. CS I can imagine, but I think Niles can hold the fort.
I mean, if you want a fun fact, Angus, the very first match that I casted as a caster, it was Maryville against 100x, and it was Niles versus Tenacity.
Actually?
And at
look
the time,
at the lore.
Those were two of the better top laners that we had in 2020, as Tenacity was kind of fresh on the scene. Niles, at the time, he was rumored to be, trying to go to LCS. I know, over a couple of those worlds, he actually was scrimming with TSM at one point. That's like some deep state lore, you know, for you when they were over in China. So I know that Niles was like really hyped up at the time. So it is fun. I know that Niles has made a return. Tenacity as well. I'm really glad that we see both of them back here, as I think they're both very sound players in their own right. And Tenacity, knowing that Yuji started on the top side, kind of a new adaptation that we've seen out of top laners, especially with Udyr being meta. You can proxy this wave safely, and then you can base without burning your TP. People figure this out kind of in the back half of last season. The boss knew it
Especially
forever.
considering the fact that we tracked Yuji's jungle pathing. I mean, we saw him start top. That means he's going to be bot side at this timer. And bot lane can also play with that information. So the wave's pushing into them. They even see Yuji here as good dredge line. Manu taking a lot of damage. Has to pop the heal and ignites down from both supports. Scary Jerry's looking for it. One more auto. And it's actually first blood to Zyko. Boom's trying to trade something back, but he's going to fall too. 2 kills picked up from Maryville's bot lane.
Dude, Scary Jerry and Zyko have been so much better this year. I know last year in summer, Maryville, I had them rated pretty low because I didn't believe in this bot lane. I didn't believe they were good enough to be in Challengers. And you know what? They had to go to the promotion tournament and kind of earn their way back. But now that they were back, I talked to Zyko today. He said that, you know, over the summer and in the offseason, you know, Jerry and I have been more honest about where we're at as a duo and what we want out of each other. We're playing more duo queues. We're watching more VODs, doing more 2v2s. And I got to say, it's really looked like it's paid off. These guys are playing so much better this season. They've been duo killing quite a few bot lanes. And to pick up Banui and Poom as well, add to that list, it's got to be really nice for them.
I mean, this is a bot lane. If we're talking about experience of the top laners here, Boom's got LCS experience. Manui on Cincinnati Fear had a great run last year. Scary Jerry and Zyko stepping up to the competition here, get a nice lead for themselves bot lane, and it is that lethality Varus you highlighted. You want to get that ahead early.
It needs to get ahead early because they need to get ahead in this game or else they will not be able to deal with the Vi and the Darius later on. So I think it's really important that they were able to make that happen, and Yuji's here.
This is bold from Yuji, but they got a lot of damage on the Boom. Flash gets the stun, but it's not enough. Young and Perry are still here. They're chasing forward, but Zyko roams all the way from bot lane and will get his second kill of the game. Says, thank you, I'll pick that up. Now let me run away from the Darius. He looks mighty scary, and Tenacity says, I don't think you're getting out of this one, buddy. Young with a kill credit there. So trade of kills up for DSG.
They will be able to pick up the grubs. This does give Niles a little bit of free time, so he should be able to get this wave in and reset safely, as Tenacity did spec the Ghost and the Flash. Very standard on our Darius players, Kangas. But I do have to say, I love the aggression coming out of Maryville again. And a nice run from Zyko to answer that play. They were down in numbers, but Zyko continues to keep pace with Poom. To trade out the objectives, and Maryville is still feeling all right about this early game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're not trading up for DSG. I thought with the grub take that they would have a little bit more to work with, but they only take the one. Dragon claimed by Maryville, so now Perry will jump back over. He was pretty low, so I guess he was scared of maybe getting pushed off.
That, and also Tenacity was coming back out of base, so he's waiting for his strong top laner to get back to the lane until he returns to the crime. Fireaxe will spot him there, and Perry will once again slink his way on out and take something else.
So 2 grubs picked up now from DSG. Still the last one remaining. Maryville know that, so Yuji will walk over and check out the area. And deny the full stack at least, if he really wants to go for it himself right now. And he does have push mid, he does have push top, so I think Yuji, it wouldn't be unreasonable for him to just look at this one himself.
I think that Yuji might actually have to help out Niles in the top lane, as Niles, he doesn't have boots right now, and Tenacity went for what's pretty standard, you know, rushing tier 2 boots on Darius, because Darius needs to be in range, and if he is in range, his base damage is so high with the hemorrhage in his passive that he can pretty much just win fights. So I'd say it's a little bit tough for Niles. Now, because Tenacity did make that roam, he is actually down a level, and that's enough where Niles feels decently safe right now. But if this wave were, you know, more frozen, I think that Yuji might need to help him actually get this one in. It's just really tough to interact with Darius lanes.
Yeah, I mean, Tenacity's got a nice freeze here. His jungler's on the bot side, though, so Niles actually isn't in that much danger with a ghost down on Tenacity, unless he wants to go crazy and, like, flash in, but yeah, I think that overall Niles feels okay about his current position. If they know where Perry is, he does have Spyrax coming up to help him, so maybe not Yuji correcting the lane state, but the good old-fashioned mid laner. Niles now goes in. Ooh, doesn't get the pullback. Flash out of Tenacity as Spyrax is here. Oh, seismic shove just missing. Tenacity is fine.
I still really like how Niles played that, though. I mean, he got the flash for free, and because of that, he can now get this wave in. So the roam from Spyrax is still very useful in making sure that Niles' lane is set up a little bit better than what it was previously.
Yeah, I mean, overall, this is what I was saying. I have faith in Niles to survive this kind of lane. The CS is getting away from him. Tenacity does have a lead. Got the assist as well, but the fact that Young picked up the kill and not the Darius means that, again, I think Niles is going to be just kind of snoozing up here, holding waves where he can, and the action is going to be elsewhere on the map. DSG are behind in gold, though. They haven't really gotten much done, mostly because of that bot lane 2v2, and then the roam from Poom kind of falling out from under them.
I still think that DSG, like, they're okay with the chill game state. Again, the scaling's a little bit goofy this game because Darius scales really hard this game, given the lack of damage and how many melees that are here. I gotta pause.
Okay, Zyko doesn't have flash, so he's gonna try and dredge line out of there. Has the backup of his jungler, who gets ulted by the Vi, and parry punished. Yuji with the kill credit.
3v3 wins. Nautilus is such a great pairing with Talia. Not only the lockdown for the flick, but also you could see the stones were already down, so the dredge line actually got the stun off and bonus damage on parry. From that just connecting from Zyko. So like, another really good roam from the Nautilus. And I know that this support Maokai pick's kind of been evolving. Oh.
Okay. 2, 3, one more. Oh, Zyko at the final sidestep. Had flash as well, so I think he always makes it out of there, but nice to not have to burn the summoner spell.
Play there as, okay, hold on, we got Tenacity getting yoinked back.
No flash, he just popped Ghost. Tenacity is surely going to fall here. Has teleport coming in from Young as backup, tries to heal up with the Q, but not going to be enough. Spyrax will pick up that kill.
And I really like this pressure they're putting around Niles. And it's funny because like when Niles and Tenacity, again, back in 2020, when these guys like were the two hype top laners that were up and coming, they were each carry players. And I think Tenacity, like, I remember that series, they just continuously brawled. They fought to the death, but this time it's Niles using his team to make sure that he's able to get the advantages and win a matchup where it is brawler v brawler and they're, you know, fighting pretty good. So I think that overall the game plan for MU got a lot easier when their bot lane got ahead, but I think that playing towards top and trying to shut down Tenacity is key because, again, I did say earlier, scaling's a bit goofy, and a lot of that is because I think Darius can kind of break this game if there isn't enough damage on Maryville's carries. And that will happen as this game goes on, and Maryville's carries are more for poke and burst and fall off a bit.
I want to give credit to Spyrax for some of that, but I'll talk about that later because we have a dragon setup happening here. 10 seconds till it's up, and there is a package picked up by Young. He hasn't used it yet, but he picked it up with 35 seconds. That means he's only going to have 10 seconds after dragon spawns to use it.
Can't do it.
It's important to keep track of those. And then they're going to go for the top grubs. Okay, so no dragon fight.
I think grubs are okay. This will kind of slingshot DSG back. I think that later on that they will have more access to turrets than right now, given the drafts that we have. But I don't think that they can fight bots. So I think making sure that this package timer is still good for the dragon. It's a decent answer from DSG as they try and play this one out.
Yeah, I didn't see. We'll notice in a second here once we get back to a single screen. Did Poom flash? He did. So good find there from Zyko, catching Poom in his own jungle.
Zyko's been really active so far. And again, like, they did find that 2v2 double kill, but I think that Zyko's done a really nice job of managing that. And I know I was a bit critical of the Scary Jerry Zyko lane last summer. They haven't improved a lot as a lane. I think a lot of that's actually Jerry. For me, Zyko was actually someone that was the stronger performer out of the two. And it's really nice to see him continue to try and impact maps as well as buff up his laning. Because I think Zyko had a decent way, or at least knowledge of, like, playing out engages and, like, you know, trying to play out these maps. And it's really good to see that continue this split, especially as he has roam advantage against the Maokai, and he's doing so against a, you know, LCS support in the past. So it's really, really nice to see.
This is the difference between a play-by-play caster and a color caster, is you're talking about all these movements and decisions he's making. I just see 2, 1, and 2, and I'm like, that's the best stat line on the team. Zyko's doing good, okay?
Finding some good timers. He definitely gets to play through Talia early if he so chooses, and even here, they're going to sweep out a ward so they can maybe free up Spyrax, who is still yet to drop that next ultimate. So he's got access to that, and DSG are going to be on the back foot. When they don't have a package, they don't have TPs to respond.
Nature's Grass goes out to defend the blue buff here. Poom's going forward, engages in. Perry following up. Zyko's the target, but he's got the biggest health bar. Curtain has been called. 1 kill for Manui. Yuji taken very low as Perry will get that credit helpful from Niles, but at least equalize 1. Make it 2. Spyrax picks up Poom. Actually picks up Perry as he was deep in enemy territory. So 2 for 2
He
trade
wants the
overall. Can we get the wave under turret? Can Niles actually get this dive off? I don't know if it's going to come fast enough. Backs are channeled. There's one. He's just going to walk under. It's not Manui's back. All out still available for Niles. That's flash out of Manui. Does not land the root under turret for the Cassante.
I'd love to see top lane, though, and how many plays Tenacity can get. Thank you, observers. So you can see Grubs again in favor of DSG. Tenacity was able to get a couple plates down. That's significant. Once again, this game, I think Darius is the one that can really break what Maryville wants to do in the comp, given that they don't have a lot of DPS from the carries. It's more so burst damage to try and follow up with picks. And credit to DSG in this replay. It's a good pick. Poom and Perry working together to take down 2 initially. Yes, Perry falls in the back half, but this was the space that they were able to create, which forced Niles to TP just to make it a 2 for 2. And Darius got way ahead in the back half of that play.
Ooh, Zyko gets the dredge line out in time as we come back to live, and Perry looking for another play there. I'm happy you highlight the fact that Tenacity, who's not even on screen during all that, is the real benefactor here. Stride Breaker completed as he matches back timer with Niles, who just teleported. Now we're fighting for the Herald. Perry's going forward. Cease and desist not available. Poom's going real deep in enemy territory. Can the team follow up? Zyko will be traded. Support for support as Poom actually surviving for quite a while. That's bad news for Maryville, because now they're going to lose their jungler. Niles trying to run away from 4. DSG trying to lock him down. No summoners, no ultimate. Double kill to Young. And DSG make the play happen.
Yeah, and kind of a split fight coming out from Maryville. And at the moment, like, I don't think Maryville is super strong on the top side. Jax, I don't know if you have the Trinity Force completed yet or not, but I'd prefer Vi at this point with the Sundered Sky. I think Darius is a nightmare to face, too. Okay, hold on, we got more action.
Playing kind of crazy right now. He had no backup from the team, but he just walks up. They don't know that. Chain of Corruption lands onto Perry, and he's taken out before the cease and desist can even land. Curtain's been called as Tenacity's trying to keep people locked down. Nature's Grasp as well. MU took too long to go for the objective. They walk up. DSG answer back as, okay, UG will get one there onto Poom. So DSG actually have to back off the objective instead. It looks rough, but flash from Young will keep him alive. MU now onto the Herald.
This game's everywhere. I will give Maryville some credit. I think that the fight on the back half, again, like the people that were there, you still had Chain of Corruption that was available. So I like how Jerry was playing a little bit aggressive to try and get that, and they will be rewarded with the Rift Herald. I'd love to see a replay, though, of the first fight, if possible, because the Darius, again, if you aren't able to get sound picks off, as is Talia Varus, and Darius cannot be dealt with yet at this stage of the game by the front line of Maryville, which is where I was kind of getting to. So Darius was able to run rampant. We can see the impact this champ can have if he is able to fight melees, as he dominates melees with his kit.
And MU, they fancied the contest, the Herald. I thought they were going to get Giga punished for it, but the fact they pick it up, good news for them, because they have contained the Darius decently enough. He's getting a couple kills now, but the big thing is trying to get gold onto their carries and onto their front line so that they can absorb the damage from the Darius and try and actually utilize the range advantage that they have here. Going to the Dragon after the fact. Let's take a look at that replay, though.
Yeah, this is the second one again. Jerry, he's got his ult available. Perry didn't have it in the first fight because they're coming up to fight again in the back half. So it's like the third fight that we get in a row.
Right.
Tenacity. And Zyko's dead at this point. You're a Nautilus, you're squishy. Nothing you can do without sums. And
pretty sure Poom just engaged in the exact same spot 2 fights in a row. Like he engaged there, dies, spawns, goes back, engages in the same location. That was great.
The 057 is a spicy score.
Wait a minute. Cease and desist. Back off cooldown. Flash from Spyrax, but Poom continues with the twisted advance. Yuji jumps in. Stuns up 2. Perry still gets the target, but Yuji is alive. Yuji's untouched. Yuji is unleashed as he's jumping forward. Niles, with the help of Scary Jerry, will pick up a couple more, but that's a big shutdown for the jungler of Maryville.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, I don't think these fights are required from DSG. Like, it's a great TP from Niles, but this is a comp again. I'm like, hey, get the Darius rolling. They are trying to kind of play with the Darius lane. You can let Darius do his own thing and get farm elsewhere. And Corki's getting big. Corki scales really hard this game too, and can create health bar advantages later. I think the forces that DSG has at the moment, they're overreaching. It's not necessary. And Maryville, like, props to them on the good punish, but that plays free for Niles, man. Just gets the TP to the turret and take everyone out who's already behind him.
DSG making too much happen in the last couple of plays, constantly scrapping with MU, and it's putting themselves a little bit behind. I hate to say it, but we've seen a couple of Vi games in a row. I know a few folks who are not a big fan of Vi in the competitive meta. I don't know where you land on this, Cubby, but at least on the day, it has been struggling, as it is 1-4-6. Every time Perry goes in, he's not coming back out.
I mean, Vi's good. You just have to be careful about when and where you take the fights, because you're right. It is a one-way trip. It gives you that really sound engage onto a member, but if you don't use that well, I mean, that's a big plus for the kit, right? So I think like that. Ooh, hold on.
Mana corruption onto Poom. Speaking of champions that have a few deaths under their belt, Poom also struggling here on the Maokai. Does get away this time around. A cease and desist onto Scary Jerry, but yet again, Perry's all alone back there. The one-way trip straight back to the fountain.
The Maokai and the Vi, it's just straight losing in the Jackson Nautilus. Like, the Nautilus can kind of out-interact with the Maokai in these skirmishes early on. The Maokai does get some scaling, but the Maokai is way behind at this point. And then Jax is the one that's going to outscale Vi. And if you keep on taking fights like this where Perry split with the team, again, if you aren't using these ults synced up, it's not doable.
Oh, is he not? Oh, I thought we were going to come back to the vision toggle and see Yuji spinning that rod, but nope. It is actually Young backing off. He's just fine. Yuji does not commit to the dive under the turret. All right, so we're talking about scaling here. I think that this is the type of moment where, yes, I love Darius into low-range comps. If Darius is fed and a Jax jumps onto him, he's like, oh, sweet. The Jax just got closer to me. Oh, I can't even say. I mean, he's getting caught here in the mid lane as, he does get out. Depth charge was on cooldown, so Manui's able to walk away. Has to burn both summoner spells, though.
The first sidestep on Talia was rather slick from Manui, but unfortunately, just have to sneak out. Both summoner spells, you said, expensive. And we have been talking about scaling so much, Kangas, but I think we got to recognize Maryville. Very sound bot lane play so far from Jerry and Zyko. It secured them the first 2 Drakes. You got the third one picked up. It is Mountain Soul, which would be really nice for them. Not only to have for themselves, but also, like, deny. Because this is a poke comp. Mountain getting a lot of value against something like Lethality Varus on the side of DSG. The mid of the way, Maryville, they're up 3k gold, and their champs are still really strong. They have control at this point of the game. I have full expectation they're going to be able to take this one. It's going to be really tough for DSG to find an angle to get in.
Now, I don't play with enough teleport myself to know exactly if that will be up by that 50-second mark once the dragon's up, but Niles actually heading with the team anyway, so I don't even think he's going to need to teleport into something. Spyrax is going to be one with TP in the side lane. Package is available. Remember, it's 45 seconds. You can hold it now. So I actually like that Young's waiting. Now he gets it. He's going to have 5 seconds after Dragon spawns to throw this thing out. So that means we're going to see a fight either right before or right as Dragon's coming up.
Talia did shove in that top lane, so the DSG should understand that Talia is still grouping. Maybe they find an angle. And this is tough. Like, I think Young almost has to use the package to DPS the dragon if he can't get it off. And Maryville just has to sit here and chill.
Yeah. That's one of the toughest things about the package changes is it gives you such a smaller window to actually be that big threat. And they even have mid push, so that's going to be a wave loss for DSG. Dragon has spawned now. Maryville, how do they want to approach this? Summoner spells available. Ultimate's all available. They can just walk forward. Taking a lot of damage. DSG is in there, but Yuji's threatening the steal right now. Perry's going forward with the ball breaker. Now the flank coming in from Poom. They turn their attention onto the support. Perry flashes out of there, but who's going to get the dragon? That's the real win here. Niles gets the kill. Dragon secured from Yuji, and that is soul for Maryville. It doesn't matter what else happens in this fight. They got their objective, but they're going to pull Tenacity over the wall regardless. Tenacity doing a lot of damage. Dunks down, doesn't get the reset, but will flash forward, trying to get on the Scary Jerry as Yuji will kill Young. Tenacity, he's getting kited out now. Gotta be careful. Scary Jerry is still a threat. Jump from Yuji, taking a lot of damage. Oh, Yuji, that might not have been advised, but oh, no plays Not quite there. Scary Jerry, one more Q. Find it up. Not enough damage. Tenacity barely lives with a sliver of a health bar.
I mean, you might have been able to hear me when you was going in. I was like, really? Like, we're going to try and do this against Darius? It was not quite enough there on the side of Maryville. Still, they were the ones that took down the Dragon. I think it was a creative initial engage from Perry to make sure that Nautilus fell first, and he actually got himself out with Flash, but then he went back in. He was kind of forced to, given where the Dragon was at and where the carries were at. And Niles, Yuji able to munch through him. Couldn't get the smite down for Dragon. It's secured by Yuji, and Maryville continues to really have these strong early games. Again, they've been drafting for these strong early games, Kangas, but they're executing it well. They're leading the league in goal difference at 15 as a squad. It's a team-wide effort. And if Maryville can cleanly play out early games like this and keep on doing it, right? You have all the tools for yourself when you pick lanes like this. You're able to pressure with stuff like Varus, Naught, and Talia. We've seen Maryville do really good work in terms of making plays as a squad that make sure that Disguise really need to get into this game.
And as we have a moment to breathe here, Maryville just kind of taking away all the camps that they can. I want to go back to the greater narrative of where Collegiate kind of stands in the landscape of professional gaming, of esports. It's been questioned if it is, you know, a good place to practice, if it's actually where you want to hone your skills, if you're trying to go pro. Well, for players like Scary Jerry, okay, flashes from supports rated. Players like Scary Jerry who have been vocal about, no, I do want to make that push. A performance like this is huge for Maryville, not only for their team, but for what it says about what a collegiate program can be.
Yeah, I want to give Scary Jerry a lot of props. I mean, I don't think that he played that well in the last summer. For him coming back and playing much, much better this time around, I think that's fantastic.
Okay, Perry throws out cease and desist onto Scary Jerry. Talking about the bot laner, we just caster cursed him because he goes down. Poom will trade his life. Might want that one back, but DSG overall did claim the enemy AD carry. How much more can Spyrex get done here? He chases down Perry and gets a double kill for himself. And Maryville yet again trading up in these fights.
It's tough with Council too, as I don't think that they can do the Baron. Baron's a little bit scary because again, you're going to get low, and Porky can really free fire on you. There is no parry, but this is a slow Baron for Maryville.
Leandri's Burn's going to put in some work here, but you are right. DSG have time. They are not pressured to just run at them. They can say, how do we want to approach? Communicate as a team. It's Snasty going into front line. Snasty as the Darius doing a lot of damage. He's locked out. They're chasing CC. He gets the decimated smash up, but he still falls as Niles will not. Top laner secured. Mid laner secured. Spyrax on a rampage as Maryville use the Baron as bait for the fight. Manui and Poom now trying to run away themselves. They're by the Raptors as Perry is coming back into the fight, but they lose their support. Manui and Perry will just have to watch as Baron is now the focus of Maryville yet again.
Love the turn and burn from Maryville. Great CC chain on the Tenacity as well. He is the big threat, but of course you are Darius. You are limited. You do not scale with terrain, is how we like to put it with Darius. And he was shut down and locked down right there. Maryville checking the boxes they need to make sure that this game is secured cleanly. And man, what a turnaround for Maryville. I mean, I know that over on the Mirage Alliance camp, their last-second roster change before the season hasn't worked out too well as they're sitting at the bottom of the standings. But meanwhile, Maryville, they've decided they have a very, build program with
very
talent.
wide program, yeah.
Yeah, they decided, hey, we're going to run this group, and man, has it paid off for them in NACL as they have been so good as a unit. It really feels like they're looking at the game with really one track mind, and that's, hey, we're playing aggressive early, right? For better or worse. That's why we've seen 2-1s out of them. Sometimes it doesn't always go like this, but when it does, Maryville are a good team in this league, man. Yeah,
they are playing like one of the top dogs, and they are bringing it to DSG, who continue to struggle in their season. 1-2, not the start that a lot were hoping for from the defending champions, but a roster rebuild. It's only Young that's the repeat player from that championship roster. Everyone else got promoted up to LCS, and the question around DSG was, how are the new pieces going to look together? I think that there's a lot of promise here, but they're still working on how everything fits together. As again, I got to go back to Tenacity on this Darius. Once you lock this in, it kind of tells your comp how you want to play, and we didn't see DSG play that way. Now Maryville starting the siege here. Good damage on the parry to start things off. Teleport coming in from the mid lane here as Niles will get right into the thick of things. Zyko's the target. Can they get the support? They do. but yet again, Perry goes deep in enemy territory. Trade of support for support. Boom goes down. Tenacity trying to do his best, but he just doesn't have the cooldowns. He doesn't have the damage, and Niles will get the kill credit onto him. Young and Manui now in full retreat here as Perry's about as useful as training wheels on a tricycle. Young and Manui chase down to get out though. All right, it's not over for DSG.
So Maryville, they get the objective. Elder spawning in 15. They're going to get a quick reset, get out on the map first. Nautilus spawns 20 seconds before the Darius. Package is grabbed here by Young.
Ooh,
he's TPing.
Elder in 8 seconds. This is a big tempo swing. One of the things that Package can give you is a massive fight at an objective. And this time he doesn't have to be pressured to use it within 5 seconds of it spawning. He can actually just use it, you know, once they find the right angle, once they bait Maryville in. Not gonna have tenacity though.
Still halfway through the timer though with the changes, so Young's got to pull the trigger sooner than later.
Yeah, and they again don't have tenacity. I mean, Darius doesn't have teleport. He just spawned. He's running out of base, but look at all these wards. They're gonna see exactly where tenacity is. I actually don't hate Maryville once they see him going for their own engage here. Zyko's walking forward.
He's got 5 seconds left. He's not going to use it. I think we're really seeing the package changes and the nerfs to Corki. I mean,
it's down.
The first people to play on this patch, and I think we're really seeing it with the Corki pick specifically. I love how they pulled the Drake to that. Maryville's already got it at half.
Okay, how are we going to get in there? Perry's trying to jump in, but Niles just completely body blocks him, pulling him away. They turn and burn onto the enemy jungler. DSG's Perry is going to go down. Scary Jerry with the credit, as now Tenacity yet again finds himself frontlining, but just can't hit enough people. Niles finds space, but I think that's it, as he should bleed down here to the Darius stacks. Yeah, there we go. Big shutdown, but the real win is the Elder Dragon. Maryville secure the objective.
Again, I think this game just got too far out of control in favor of Maryville. And Maryville, I mean, they've been playing volatile, bloody games. They are not afraid to go in early. This is a great look here from Niles. I mean, it's easy. Perry's, you know, already kind of presenting himself there. He just has to make sure that he gets him out of the pit. Pulling golden here for UG too. Yeah. I mean, he's the only one showing, you know?
True, I suppose. Everyone else hiding in the brush right there.
Yeah.
DSG at least do get a nice shutdown out of Niles, but I mean, this was the focus the entire time, and it does go back to the setup from DSG. I mean, it goes way back further than that. They were behind a goal. They were behind a lot in this game, but the Corki package changes means that you have to be so much more willing to pull the trigger early than we're seeing DSG do in this game.
Yeah, I think we've really seen at least that change impact this game. Unfortunately, not in DSG's favor. And now, I mean, all hopes just go on at Darius resets, no? There really isn't anything else that they can hope for at this point. Manui's down an item. Corki will do some decent damage later on, but I think that's the other thing. You see in DSG, like with his Corki Jhin setup, you can actually poke. Maryville's really been forcing fights, and I think that Talia has actually been really big in some of these fights in terms of taking over. Just the DPS that Talia presents when she is able to continuously just press Q on this front line. It's been really nice to see it from Spyrax, who continues to impress and be a very strong top laner in this league. Yeah,
Spyrax also, I mean, the Leandri's build's just going to choose through the Darius, even the Vi, everyone's stacking health. Also, fun fact, Seraph's got a slight buff as it's 100 gold cheaper to purchase, so taking advantage of that too here. The champ and the item changes. His mid laner looking solid here. Puts up the Weaver's Wall to block the approach from DSG. Again, they have the Elder Dragon, so there's really no fight for DSG to try and take. Koom throws out the Nature's Grasp to slow down the approach, but this inhibitor will fall. How much damage can the Corki get done is really the only question. Niles is about half health, so not the worst. But I definitely think DSG would have preferred to have more there. Maryville get the objective, back off safely. Ooh, Chain of Corruption on the Poom! Ooh, yeah, that Elder Dragon, that execute almost got there. That splash out of Poom, heal out of Manui.
I was right about the bye-bye. You know, there's some bonus tools came in. So it's a lot burned there. A couple of cooldowns that will be now in favor of Maryville. Baron spawning soon, too. You can see Maryville is continuously not relenting, holding this line of vision. They know that anytime DSG walks forward, walks in.
Ooh, Psycho flashing for the engage. Missing the dredge line, though. Wow, Maryville was full sending right there. They teleport Niles, but it's not that bad. They can just teleport in Spyrax, too. 5 stack at the Baron. Doesn't feel too bad.
Yeah, I mean, be strong while you have Elder. Elder did just run out, but that's still... I think the double TP, if they secure Baron, they get another brute force push, and DSG can't really deal with that.
Perry's in the correct spot, but now the turn from Maryville. They're just so willing to do this every time. Perry tries to jump onto the back line and does 0 damage to Scary Jerry. As now the curtain's been called, but it's called on Manui. Yuji gets onto the Jin. Double kill to Scary Jerry, and Maryville University make clean work of their opponents in DSG. Good team play, good map play. Maryville continue the momentum. Another game win, and they will match FlyQuest Challengers at the top in first place in NACL to start off the spring split. The collegiate squad looking dominant early on in the spring season as they will take down DSG, handing them another game loss.
I know that a couple of these faces are familiar in Challengers, like with Niles, Yuji, and Spyrax, but man, still, for a college to be doing this well in Challengers League really speaks to what they have going on. I think it's a huge advantage. They're actually there in person, whereas a lot of our teams are now remote. But man, Maryville continues to cash in, and we have to keep on putting respect on Maryville. They said in the early interviews, we're beating everyone in scrims. We're confident. We believe that we are a top 3 team in this league. And everyone who had DSG top 3 beforehand, Maryville's proving it. They're the ones that are there.
Yep.
Preseason expectations out the window. What we're seeing on the Rift, Maryville's been damn good.
Nothing better than a team that talks smack before a season and then can back it up in the season. We're going to send it to a short break before we're back for Game 2 to see if there's any rebuttal or if Maryville will take their first sweep right after this.
They said it couldn't be done. They said the world would never accept a cookie this long. Or a churro, and probably not a pretzel either. They also said, under no circumstances should those really long and delicious treats be wildly affordable. To which we said, but we already made them. And they are. Introducing the incredible new foot-long sidekicks. Get one at Subway today.
Everybody in Twitch chat.
Look at the camera.
This is the guy. This is the guy making the run to the LCS, to the LCS Challengers League. Round of applause for Scary Jerry.
Shout out Collegiate. We're coming for everybody. We're going to win. Also, Shogo's been in the Twitch chat of every match that we've had, so shout out to him. He's our biggest fan.
Nice.
Can't wait to take St. Thomas out in the finals.
Kind of going back to the Lucian item here in the bot side. This sets up really nice for Lucian's ultimate because the support item he'll grab is the damage amp. So you throw down that auto, you know, you get the slow, you pump your ult.
And
oh boy.
flash, doesn't matter if you die, and Wixie gets pierced through the heart. Victory in your first series of the split. It's a little bit of a top kingdom, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, he was completely capped both games. It was just a slaughter, what can I say? But it's really good to see you guys again.
Top laner is going to show up as teleports are channeled. Now jumping in is Jenkins right on the chime. Bleeds him down so damn quickly. Quad is here. And a double kill as the sword slices down from Surdy.
I want to go to you as an individual, as we do see the Grim Reaper running around behind you. Thank you, Shochi, for being the mascot for the team. Still clumped up. They haven't gone down yet. Shochi's just free-firing. Jumps in. Over the knockup from Niles. No knockup combo for Spyrax to look for, and he even goes down. Shochi with a double kill, making a triple kill. Reset City for Supernova's mid laner. Quadra kill to Shochi, and they will ace Maryville.
There is a reason that I said it's going to be a Shochi specialty game. The future of the LCS starts right after the LCS. Welcome to Challengers League.